Benedict XV, born as Giacomo della Chiesa of Italy, served during World War I and advocated neutrality, diplomacy, and peace. Pope Benedict XV sent humanitarian aid to war-torn regions. He called for a just peace in his seven-point peace plan, largely ignored by world powers. He emphasized care for war victims, prisoners, and orphans. Benedict promoted missionary work in Africa and Asia without colonial interference. Pius XI, born as Achille Ratti of Italy, signed the Lateran Treaty establishing Vatican City as a sovereign state. Pope Pius XI issued encyclicals condemning fascism, the Non abbiamo bisogno, Nazism, the Mit brennender Sorge, and communism, the Divini Redemptoris. Pius XI established Catholic action to engage laypeople in church life. He promoted missions and education globally. Pius XII, born as Eugenio Pacelli of Italy, led the church through World War II. However, his efforts to save Jews and resist Nazi ideology remained debated. Pope Pius XII proclaimed the dogma of the Assumption of Mary and reformed canon law and modernized biblical studies. Pius XII strongly opposed communism and atheistic regimes. He promoted science, medicine, and the role of conscience in moral theology. John XXIII, born as Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli of Italy, convened Vatican II, the most significant church council in modern history. Pope St. John XXIII aimed to open the windows of the church to the modern world, or aggiornamento. He issued Pacem in Terris, or peace on earth, promoting human rights, dignity, and peace during the Cold War. St. John XXIII was known for his warmth, humility, and pastoral wisdom. He died in 1963 before seeing Vatican II completed and was made a saint in 2014. Paul VI, born as Giovanni Battista Montini of Italy, brought Vatican II to completion. St. Pope Paul VI issued Humanae Vitae affirming the Church's opposition to artificial contraception, controversial but consistent with tradition. Paul VI oversaw major reforms in liturgy, including use of vernacular languages in Mass. St. Paul VI strengthened the Church's presence in developing nations and expanded interreligious dialogue. He was made a saint in 2018. John Paul I, born as Albino Luciani of Italy, served only 33 days, the shortest modern papacy. Pope John Paul I was known for his humble style, rejected the papal coronation, choosing a simple inauguration. He was the first pope to take two names, honoring John XXIII and Paul VI. John Paul I planned to reform the Vatican bureaucracy and emphasize pastoral care, but died suddenly before making structural changes. He was beatified as a blessed in 2022. John Paul II, born as Karol Wojtyła of Poland, was the first non-Italian pope in over 450 years. St. John Paul II served 26 years, one of the longest pontificates. He helped bring down communism in Eastern Europe, especially in Poland. John Paul II created World Youth Day, energizing Catholic youth. He canonized over 480 saints, more than all his predecessors combined. John Paul II issued important documents like Evangelium Vitae on the dignity of life and the Catechism of the Catholic Church. He survived an assassination attempt in 1981 and publicly forgave his attacker. St. Pope John Paul II was made a saint in 2014. Benedict XVI, born as Joseph Ratzinger of Germany, focused on orthodoxy, liturgical tradition, and the role of faith in modern society. Pope Benedict XVI reintroduced the Latin Mass more broadly through Summorum Pontificum. He strongly defended traditional Catholic teaching on sexuality, marriage, and relativism. Benedict XVI opened dialogue with Anglicans and Jews. He addressed clergy abuse, though some viewed his actions as too cautious. Benedict resigned in 2013, the first pope to do so since 1415, citing old age and fatigue. Francis, born as Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina, was the first Latin American pope and the first Jesuit elected. Pope Francis prioritized mercy, care for the poor, and environmental stewardship, or Laudato Si. He led major synods on the Amazon, youth and family, encouraging open dialogue and cultural inclusion. Francis reformed church governance through curia restructuring and introduced synodality, a shared model of church leadership. Pope Francis allowed greater local control over liturgy while upholding core doctrine. Leo XIV. Born as Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago, United States and Peru, is the first American pope and first Augustinian elected to the papacy. So far, he has focused on AI ethics, spearheading a Vatican-led global conversation on artificial intelligence, continuing the Rome call for AI ethics. Pope Leo XIV has emphasized global peace by condemning autonomous weapons and urged nuclear disarmament. He seems to have a theological focus rooted in Augustine's emphasis on unity and humility. From war to peace, from tradition to reform, from Latin to live streams, the last 10 popes have shepherded the Church through some of the most turbulent and transformative moments in history. And now, under Pope Leo XIV, a new chapter is being written, one shaped by technology, ethics, and the enduring call to serve a changing world.